Hello my friends, welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. I'm Travis. I thank you for checking out this video. If this is your first time on this channel, thank you for checking us out and giving us a chance. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you are in the right place. You see that little subscribe button right there? Why don't you do yourself a favor, do me a favor, do this channel a favor, and give it the old huck and click on that thing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I did that. I had to. In my head, it sounded better. Today, guys, we're going to talk about something different. I know I normally do like reviews of SmackDown and Raw and sometimes NXT, definitely do the PLEs. But today I want to talk a little bit about, I want to dive a little bit more into the Uncle Howdy, Wyatt 6 / like Bray Wyatt and the Fiend type of stuff here, because a lot of people like to compare. A lot of people bring up Bray's legacy and how they don't want Uncle Howdy to be like the same thing. I'm going to give you some reasons why I think it's a little different. But first, I want to let you guys know about this Facebook group that I am a part of. I had no creation in it. It's not my group. It's just a group I've joined on Facebook. It's called Pro Wrestling Takeover. The admin there is Derek Everhart. He's very cool. He actually he allows me to post my links from YouTube on that group. You know how sometimes Facebook groups can be very stingy with that kind of stuff. They're very gracious and cool. The whole group itself is cool. I go there a lot for a lot of the engagement in WWE type stuff and wrestling content. A lot of cool posts. People put memes. People put topics of discussion. Very cool. If you are on Facebook and you want to check them out, they're called Pro Wrestling Takeover. Definitely worth checking out and following and joining and all that cool stuff. I definitely wanted to check them or shout them out because, you know, they are not a huge Facebook group. And much like this channel, they're constantly growing. And I just like to, I'm always going to be that person to support the people who support me. You know, it's like a back and forth thing here. You know, you look out for me, I'm definitely going to look out for you. That's why I appreciate everybody who subscribes to this channel and everybody who likes the videos, comments on the videos, everybody who emails in. Definitely appreciate all of that, and that's one of the reasons why I like to get back to you. I like to answer you in the comments. I like to do the emails, videos. I like the engagement part. It's what's fun about being a pro wrestling fan is that you get to talk to other pro wrestling fans. All right, let's get into what this video is really about. I'm here to talk about The Fiend versus Uncle Howdy, not head-to-head, one-on-one. I'm talking about similarities and differences between the two characters, because after Monday Night Raw, yeah, it was Monday Night Raw. We got that backstage little VHS promo thing, vignette with Bo Dallas, and he was sitting there talking to Uncle Howdy, which, by the way, it looked like they were in the funhouse. It looked like all the lights were cut out of the funhouse, and they were just sitting there kind of like in front of the door area where Bray would stand all the time, which we all know. We remember that whole space was like a safe space for Bray Wyatt. You know, he went there to talk to his puppets. He went there where he would get away from the Fiend. It was like his area, his place. And now I wonder if they're going to kind of flip it and go a different way with Bo. Are they going to use the funhouse, and is it going to be a place where Bo goes to talk to Uncle Howdy, to sit there in silence with his inner thoughts? It's very interesting. I like it because they're not completely doing away with stuff that Bray had, but they're also kind of just trying to kind of tweak it and kind of make it their own too, which I definitely love that. I mean, the first thing I think of that's different between The Fiend and Uncle Howdy was, first of all, The Fiend didn't care about anything. The Fiend never showed emotion. The Fiend never asked Bray how he felt or tried to dig something out of him. No, The Fiend was there kind of like an uncontrollable force that kind of just... Bray Wyatt had no choice, it felt like. At least what I took from it. It was like Bray Wyatt had evil thoughts or evil agendas, or The Fiend had it, and he filtered it through Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt in the Funhouse version was always happy and smiley, and he didn't want people to get hurt, but he had that switch where he can turn into the angry part of himself. And when he brought out that angry part, he morphed into The Fiend. The Fiend is what handled all of that business. And the difference between that and Uncle Howdy, to me, we already see Uncle Howdy, and that word keeps getting thrown out a lot now. I've seen it all over social media, where he's kind of humanized. And that's true to a degree, I feel like. I feel like Uncle Howdy has been humanized in the sense of, it's not like, wouldn't say he's like a partner of Bo Dallas, but I feel like it acts as if a vessel of like therapy. Like he's here to listen to Bo and how Bo feels, and he's also trying to dig it out of Bo. He wants to know how Bo truly feels, because if you watch that vignette with Bo, he starts off very like not angry. He's very calm. He's talking. He sounds a little sad, but then towards the end, after Howdy says, "There you are," it's kind of like he's taking it, he's bringing it out of him. Tell me what I really want to hear, is what Uncle Howdy's saying. And then Bo really lays in on it. And I like this because now we have a separation of character. Bo, it looks like Bo has a split persona, right? It's like Bray. Bray was the same way. We all know that Bray was the Fiend was Bray. We all know that. But now we know for sure. We've all known that Uncle Howdy was Bo, but we never knew if we were going to see Bo outside of the mask. We always just maybe assumed that we were only going to see Uncle Howdy as Uncle Howdy. This is WWE bringing back Bo Dallas, and it's very clearly Bo in the mask and out of the mask. And he's talking, it seems like, to himself. It looks like Uncle Howdy is maybe Bo Dallas's like intrusive thoughts, his inner thoughts, his insecurities, his demons, and it's like he's talking to himself. But Uncle Howdy is the one that really digs deep and brings it out of Bo. The Fiend was like, and just hang with me with this comparison, this analogy, okay? Just listen to me for a second. I know this might sound insane, but just hear me out, okay? The Fiend was sort of like, you know how people have like pet alligators and you look at them and you're like, how the hell could someone have a pet alligator and the alligator doesn't try to attack them? You know why? Most of the time, this may be a completely bad comparison. Just deal with it for a second, okay? A lot of the time, I think the alligator doesn't attack the person who claims that it's its pet, because the person is feeding the alligator and giving the alligator everything it needs, right? So as long as you're giving the alligator everything it wants, it needs, the alligator knows, I go here to get food from this person. This person's giving me food. Cool. So as long as you keep doing that, the gator's fine. It's fed. It's not hungry. It's not going to attack you. You're not doing anything to provoke it. You're kind of just giving it a space. You're giving it food, and that's all an alligator cares about. I think it's almost like the Fiend for me. As long as Bray kept giving the Fiend exactly what the Fiend wanted, the Fiend would leave Bray alone. But if we go back to the alligator, you know, as soon as that person doesn't have food for the alligator, you want to know what food is? You, that person. That person becomes the food for the alligator. No remorse, no attachment, no loyalty. The alligator does not care. It only wants food. It only wants to eat something. And if it doesn't have food and you're there, you are the food. That's kind of like how I felt with the Fiend. As long as Bray was giving the Fiend what he wanted, the Fiend left Bray alone. But I felt like if you left Bray in a room alone with the Fiend, and I know they're the same person. I get that they're the same being. I understand. Just go with me. If they were in a room alone together, and Bray didn't give the Fiend what he wanted, he didn't feed the Fiend, I know without a doubt the Fiend would attack Bray. It's like Bray was afraid of the Fiend, and to keep the Fiend at bay, he just gave it what he wanted. He gave in to the anger and to the revenge and to the hunger that the Fiend had for destruction and to raise hell. That's what I get out of it. Now I know that might be a really weird analogy, a comparison. I get it. I understand, but to me in my head it makes sense. Because I don't think Uncle Howdy would do this to Bo. We all talk about him being humanized. It's like Howdy, I don't think Howdy has an evil agenda against Bo. I think Howdy has an evil agenda with Bo. But Howdy is the only way it comes out. And it makes me wonder about these other characters. You know, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, Cross, Eric Rowan. Are we going to see something similar? Are we going to see them out of the masks, talking to them in the masks? Are we going to see that? Are we going to see split personalities all over the place? After all, the group is called the Wyatt Six. S-I-C-K-S. They're all sick. And if they're all sick, maybe they're all needing to talk to somebody. Maybe they all need a therapist. Maybe they are their own therapist. Maybe they're characters with the masks, the mallets, all of that. Maybe That's their form of therapy. That's their inner thoughts, and it gets brought out. But maybe we see them outside of the mask talking to that. Maybe we get that. Or maybe Uncle Howdy serves as a therapist for all of them. And not to mention, I forget her name. The therapist that was captured, supposedly, by the Wyatts. Is she ever going to come back into the picture? Maybe she's the one pulling the strings, so to speak. Maybe she's the one bringing this out of all of them to reveal and understand their true selves. Maybe she's got a part of this. And do we get Alexa Bliss back with the Wyatts? Part of me doesn't want to see her there. I think Bliss did perfectly fine with Bray and the Fiend. They worked together well. But if you bring back Bliss, I think she's going to need some sort of like mask or disguise, like the other members have. They all have it. It would be odd to have Bliss in there with just makeup like the way she was before she left recently. The pigtails, the doll, all that stuff. Like, I don't really see that working or fitting, but maybe there's a way they can do it. Maybe she will fit in if they can write it in. If they can find a way to do. I like the group as it is, and I like the sixth member being maybe the Lantern. I love that idea, but if they do bring in Bliss, maybe her and Nikki Cross could go for the tag titles. You know, that'd be kind of cool. You don't normally see in WWE, especially, two women inside of a faction. I know Metaphor has it down in NXT, but other than that, I can't really think of too many. Like maybe there's one girl in a faction, but this one would have two. And I wonder if Bliss could do the talking for Nikki, or you know, like Nikki would kind of just grunt and yell and scream, but she wouldn't really have much to say, and it would be Bliss kind of talking for her. I don't know. There's ways to do it. I'm okay if Bliss doesn't join, but I'm also okay if she does. That part to me is kind of up in the air. I wonder if we get similar packages with the other members, like Bo had. I wonder if we get these vignettes backstage where these characters, you know, Cross, Loomis, Rowan, and Gacy are all talking to either Howdy or themselves. I wonder if they do that. I don't think they're done with Gable, by the way. And if you're asking why they're attacking Gable, I've seen some theories online. Maybe it's because he keeps referencing Alpha Academy as family, and, you know, the Wyatts, they're only talking about family, Bo and his family. Maybe they just target people who have families or have issues with their families, or maybe something like that. And if not, then I don't know. I think Gable is an odd choice to start with, but we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be fine regardless, but I don't think they're done with Gable, and I just need to know why they are attacking him for sure. One last thing I want to mention too, as far as, and I've seen some comments about this, and Kenny Hudson is one of the guys here, subscribers here on this channel, who has mentioned a few times about the Wyatt Six being cheered too much to be heels. I kind of disagree to an extent, because if you look back, the Fiend always got cheered. Everybody loved the Fiend, and the Fiend for as long as the Fiend was around was always a heel, a bad person. He was just attacking people, killing people, and I think it's going to be the same for the Wyatt Six. I don't know if they're going to truly ride the line of being a heel, or if they're going to be somewhere in between that and a face. I mean, I don't think whoever they attack is off limits. I think they go after a face or a heel, doesn't matter. I think they are just who they are, and I don't think they're going to be necessarily just a heel where they only attack good guys. I mean, clearly they're attacking Gable, who's been a bad guy, but I also don't think they're going to be bad guys or good guys. I think they are just who they are, and I think they're always going to get cheered. As soon as those lights go down, you hear that piano key hit, they're always going to get cheered, especially now because of the whole Bray passing and doing this in honor of him to a degree. So, I think even if Bray was around, they still would get cheered. But even more so, the fact that he's no longer here with us, I think they're still going to get cheered no matter what. No matter how devastating they are, how destructive they are. If they attack everyone's favorites, they could go out there and hit Cody Rhodes with a car and throw him off a building, and people are still going to cheer for the Wyatts. It's just who they are. I mean, everybody loves them, and this was huge for Bo. For the others, we're yet to be seen. But for Bo, so far, this past Raw, this is the best Bo I've ever seen. And all he had to do was just cut one backstage vignette with Uncle Howdy. And that was it. And I already believe in Bo more than I ever believed in Bo Dallas. So, huge. I'm happy with this. I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on all of this. definitely check out that Facebook group I mentioned earlier. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you did. This channel thrives on subscribers and likes. We're almost at 1,300 subscribers. I'm excited for this. I really hope it happens. And the goal by the end of the year is to get to 1,500. So obviously, the more the better. I want to get all the wrestling fans on this channel because I think this is a cool channel, man. I really do. I love everybody that's a part of it. I love talking to everybody. I love making these videos. So yeah, really, truly appreciate it, y'all. You guys have a good rest of your week. I'm going to come out with more videos this week, of course, so turn on the notifications bells if you want to be notified. But yeah, until then, guys, until we yeet again, stay bitter.